Welcome to section 7.1 day 2, more multiplication properties of exponents. Today we are going to raise a power to a power, and we're going to raise a product to a power. So the product of powers, raising a power to a power. So we have a to the m in parentheses raised to the p power. A is a real number and m and p are integers. When we raise a power to a power, we actually multiply the powers together. So we have 5 to the 4th squared. This becomes, we multiply the 4 and the 2 together, and we get 5 to the 8th. And if you think about this, if we have 5 to the 4th, that means we have 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. And if this is squared, we're doing this twice, so we'd have 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 multiplied by 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. So we're squaring it, and then we get 5 to the 8th. And if we put this on our calculators and actually plug it in, we use our caret key, which is an up arrow, so we have 5 up arrow, that caret key on the left column to the 8th power. We get a really large number, which is 390,625. One thing I do want to see here is I want to see that you actually multiply the powers together, and then we will evaluate on the calculator if we have a number raised to a power. So we have m to the 3rd, all raised to the 5th power. We multiply the two exponents together, and we get m to the 15th. We have p to the 6th, all raised to the 3rd power. Again, we have a power raised to a power. We multiply the exponents together, and we get p to the 18th. Next one, we have y to the 5th, all raised to the 3rd power, times y to the 4th. So we want to do what's on the left first with our parentheses raised to an exponent. We have y to the 5th. We multiply that by 3. We get y to the 15th times y to the 4th. And from what we learned the other day, we add the exponents together and we get y to the 19th. The last one, we have 2 cubed raised to the 2nd, all raised to the 4th. Whenever we have parentheses, we work from the inside out. There's a couple of different ways to approach this. Since we're learning this new product of powers, I want to see you actually combining your powers and multiplying them together. So in this case, I'm going to take 2 cubed squared, all raised to the 4th. So I'm going to take this first part right here. We have 2 cubed squared, and so we multiply the 3 and the 2 together, and we get 2 to the 6th. This is still all raised to the 4th. Then we bring this power in, we multiply the powers together, we get 2 to the 24th. And when you put this in your calculator, you get a really large number. You get 16777,216. So this is 16,777,216. This is how we take a power to a power. So we have exponents in parentheses raised to another exponent. We multiply them together. Another thing we have is what we call a power of a product. So what we have here, we're taking a product, something multiplied together, in parentheses raised to an exponent. So here you'll show it says ab to the m equals a to the m, b to the m. A and b are real numbers, and m is an integer. So here you have 3x in parentheses raised to the 4th power. And we can do the rainbow method like we do with the distribution. We want to distribute the power into the parentheses. So we're going to bring it into everything inside the parentheses. So then we have 3 to the 4th, x to the 4th. All right, when we got 3 to the 4th, we put that on our calculator, we get 81, x to the 4th. For the next one, number 2, we have xy squared in parentheses, all raised to the 6th power. And remember from the previous slide, when we're bringing a power to a power, we multiply them together. This is technically x to the 1st, so x to the 1st times 6 is x to the 6th. Then we have y squared. we're going to multiply 2 times 6 together to get y to the 12th. And this is my simplified form, x to the 6th, y to the 12th. For the next one, we have 7 squared, m to the 9th. Because again, we're doing this for the first time, we're raising products to a power. I want to see you bringing this power in first. Don't take 7 squared first, actually bring the power in first at this point. And we get 2 times 3, which is 6, so 7 to the 6th. And then m to the 9th, you got 9 times 3, m to the 27th. And if you plug this 7 to the 6th in your calculator, you get 117,649 m to the 27th. Number 4, we have 4x squared, all raised to the 2nd power. We're going to bring the 2 in. So we get 4 squared, x, and we have 2 times 2, which is 4. And then when you simplify 4 squared, we get 16x to the 4th. And that is my answer, my simplified version. So when we take a product to a power, we bring and distribute the exponent to everything inside the parentheses. And we multiply the exponents together. So here we're going to simplify the following expressions using what we've just learned. What we try to do is, if we have multiple sets of grouping symbols, again, we want to work from the inside out. Since the second grouping here has an embedded set of parentheses inside a bracket, we're going to work from the inside out, like I said. So when we do this, we get, I'm going to leave the first term alone. At this point, we have a squared, b squared, all raised to the 3rd. And then we're going to bring this 2 into these. Now, one thing you have to be careful with, we have a negative 4 or a minus 4 there. It's a negative 4. So we're going to put that in parentheses, negative 4 squared, because the negative part is also squared. And then we have b squared. And this is all still raised to the 2nd power. All right. So now we've done this, I'm going to bring my exponents in. To bring the exponents in, we bring the 3 into to here. We bring the 2 into both terms here. And we get a to the 6th, b to the 6th, negative 4 to the 4th. Make sure you keep it in parentheses. And b to the 4th. For me, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take negative 4 to the 4th power on my calculator. And when you take negative 4 to the 4th, make sure you use those parentheses. You get a positive 256. Now we look for common bases. We only have one term that has we only have one part that has an a in it. So we have a to the 6th. If it lets me. And then we have b to the 6th and b to the 4th. We add those together because we have the same base. 6 plus 4 is 10. So our simplified version is 256 a to the 6th, b to the 10th. We're going to do the same thing with one below. We're going to work from our bracketed parentheses first, working from our inside out. So I am going to bring the power of 2 into the negative 2 in the y. I'm going to rewrite 3xy to the 4th, all raised to the 2nd. And then we have negative 2 squared, y squared. And once we do that, bring that power in, those parentheses around that inner piece can go away because we've actually brought the power of 2 into both pieces. And we have the power of 3. Next, I'm going to distribute or bring my power in to all the parts in both the first and the second groupings. So then we get 3 squared, x squared. We have y to the 4th raised to the 2nd, which is y to the 8th when we multiply them together. We have negative 2 to the squared, and we're raising that to the 3rd. We get negative 2 to the 6th power. And y squared raised to the 3rd is y to the 6th power. Now I'm going to take my numbers and work with them first. We have 3 squared, which is 9. We only have one variable that has an x in it, or one part of our expression here has an x in it, so we have x squared. We have y to the 8th and y to the 6th, which is y to the 14th. because we add them together since we have the same base. And negative 2 to the 6th, if you do this on your calculator, is 64. We're going to multiply our two numbers together, 9 times 64, and we got 576 x squared y to the 14th. One of those things you should notice, hopefully, and we've done this in other parts of the year, is when we have variables, we put them in alphabetical order. So we write these, the coefficient always goes out front, then we do the variables in alphabetical order. You notice the first one we had 256, a6, b10, and the second one we have 576, x squared, y to the 14th. That is a proper way to write these. You put the coefficients out front, and then the variables come in alphabetical order. That is all for section 7.1, day 2. Today we raised a product to a power, and we raised a power to a power. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.